There's Johnson. He's hit. Look out.
Oh, there's never a dull moment when the Cairns Taipans are involved. Ogue is overdue. Punches down his first three of the night.
Gorgia Gap closes the lid on that one.
Shannon Scott's beaten him, and he's the man right now. He's knocking down the three on the biggest night of his career.
Unbelievable. The ball's charged forward. Mitchell on the alley-oop. McCall from halfway. Got it!
It's an all-Queensland battle on Thursday night hoops in the Hungry Jacks NBL, with Brisbane playing host to Cairns as season 223 ticks past 100 games. The Bullets have finally got some continuity in their game, and they've shown some signs of improvement, while the Taipans sit third and are chasing a top 2 finish. Tonight they'll have to do it without their coach, Adam Ford. Good evening and welcome. Great to have you with us from Nissan Arena as round 14 enters its second game. Joel Peterson in commentary alongside a couple of NBL champions in Leonard Copeland and Pete Hawley. Pete, there's still plenty for Cairns to play for there, right in the thick of things.
Oh, no doubt about it. They want to get to that second spot, knock off New Zealand. You think Sydney will probably finish first. You don't want to be in a play-in tournament if you're this close to the top 2, because if you find yourself against a hot team, it can be one and done. And the Brisbane Bullets, well, the rest of their season, they can really try and spoil some parties, and they've turned things around a little bit attitude-wise, so this could be a cracker.
And Leonard, as Perth found out a couple of weeks ago, this could be a danger game for them against the Bullets.
Absolutely danger game, because like you said, Cairns want to be going into the finals, you know, firing on all cylinders. They want to be playing good basketball, want to be going, you know, with a great momentum. But Brisbane can actually spoil the party because they got some bigs that are going to work. And if you throw that ball inside and get these guys in foul trouble with no Pinder, look out.
There's the head coach, Greg Vanderjagt. He's got some work cut out for him tonight. Tyler Johnson was pretty strong in backing him after their last result against Melbourne United. Let's hear what some of the Bullets star had to say.
What are we going to do when things get really hard? You know, are we just going to be like, oh, well, you know, it's just their night tonight? Or, you know, are we going to dig in and make that extra effort, make that extra box out, or come over the top when you see somebody boxing out? So from that perspective, it's, you know, I know Vandy's he's a great guy and a great coach. Like, he wants to help us get better. But from a lot of these perspectives, there's not a lot you can't really coach effort, you know? So from that perspective, that's on the guys in the locker room.
Bit of an endorsement for the coach there, Leonard. What do you make of those comments?
Absolutely. As a coach, that makes you feel great because you know you got guys who've been there. He's a veteran. He's been there. He knows what it takes to win. It's not about the coaches. It's about us on the floor and the effort that we have.
Well, speaking of effort, it has been questionable for a lot of the players this season. One man it has not been questionable about is this man right here, Gorgia Gak. I'm buying as much stock in this young star as possible. You saw his game against Melbourne United. 10 offensive rebounds. That is all effort, and that's all he is. His activity, effort. You don't have to roll the ball to him and say, go get buckets to be happy. He's just happy to be out there. I love the way he plays. And if you're the head office of the Brisbane Bullets, lock him away for as long as possible. The future is so bright, and I can't wait to see him in action tonight.
He's been a real bright spot for them. We mentioned off the top for the Taipans, there's no Adam Ford tonight, so Kerry Williams steps into the top job. Booner's assistant coach and a coach of the Cairns Marlins in the NBL1, so a big opportunity tonight replacing Adam Ford. And we know no Keanu Pinder tonight. One man who's really stepped up in his absence, Leonard, is Shannon Scott. He's been terrific.
He has been fantastic, man. I love his calmness. He runs a team like a real point guard, you know, less turnovers. He's been scoring a lot of points lately, and he gets the job done. But I think, like Pete said, you know, he sometimes he can go missing. We need him to play like that the whole time.
Well, speaking of missing, you see those first 2 games there, that was his recent form. That was when they were at full strength. So these last 2 games, no Keanu Pinder. He seems to realise he's going to have to do more. For this team to really be at their best come finals time at full strength, he needs to not have that drop-off. He needs to realise how important he is to this squad. When Pinder comes back, he's got to continue to play the way he goes about it. Adam Ford's going to be having those conversations with him, but there is nothing to fault about the last 2 games. He has been enormous, and I'm expecting another big performance tonight.
Let's take a look at our champion starting 5s. Firstly, the Brisbane Bullets, Leonard.
Yep, Jason Gadee and Nathan Sobey can get hot from outside, so can Tanner. But look, I think if they get the ball inside the Baines, last time these guys played, they got it inside. He scored a bunch of points early and then went missing. You got to get the ball inside because there's no Pinder tonight.
And the champion starting lineup for the Snakes, Pete.
Well, yeah, as you mentioned, no counterpin. That's a huge out. So Bull Quoll, we know he's a defensive stopper, but they're going to be small. Sam Wardenberg basically guarding Aaron Baines. Expect some funky lineups on the defensive end from this outfit. It's Jim McCall, Shannon Scott, they're in the backcourt when they're at full strength, and you kind of see Adam Ford figuring out what lineup do they want on any given night. I'd expect a lot of switching, a lot of quick doubles. They've got the young legs to be able to throw quick double teams and everybody rotate. So, yes, they're going to have some issues mismatch-wise down low, but don't be surprised if there's a bit of funkiness about the defense from the Cairns Taipans.
Oh, no surprise at all. No surprise. There will be some funkiness.
There always is. If you were Brisbane, would you have started Gak?
Oh, you can't ask me. I'm all on the Gorjak Gak track.
Why would you ask him?
He's running his own stock market with Gorjak Gak.
I think they look terrific when he's out there. But again, I don't understand why when we talk about no Keanu Pinda and Harrison's back now, start him at the 4 or start Baines at the 4. Baines' ability to stretch the floor and step out to the 3. Let Gak do his thing on the 5. If you throw both of them out there, which I'm sure we might see tonight, as it's speaking of funkiness from Greg Vanderjet from the Bullets, then you've both got DJ Hogue and Sam Wardenberg matching up against Gak and Aaron Baines. There's going to be mismatches everywhere. So I'd be interested to see if we get the Twin Towers early and often.
Yeah, fascinating little duel to play out tonight. Here is Gorjak Gak, so much of the story over the last couple of weeks for the Brisbane Bullets. He's had a terrific last month of basketball. He's been a real bright spot for them in the last few weeks. They've played twice already this season. The Taipans have won both of those. Both of those games were in Cairns. We head back to Brisbane for the latest edition of the Queensland Clash. And Wardenberg and Baines will do the honours.
One thing to keep an eye on here, that man right there, number 42, Bull Quoll, loves playing against the Brisbane Bullets and loves playing on this floor. So keep an eye on Bull Quoll. I'm sure he remembers the last couple of games he's played in this arena. See how long it takes him to get up his first shot. As we can see there, he had 23 points the last time, hit 8 threes last year on this floor.
And they're going at him straight away.
Well, they know.
Here he is on the take. Quoll goes to the left hand and scoops it home.
Sometimes you just know.
Oh, yeah, sometimes you just know. But you know what the good thing about him is? He plays both ends of the floor. He's going to have either Jason Gadee or Sobey to shut down tonight, and he does a great job on both ends.
Right start for Bull Quoll. Krebs has been a spark plug back into the lineup. Sobey dumps it inside to Baines, who goes up strong.
And we spoke about that earlier. Get the ball inside. They're small. Don't come down and swing it around and take threes. Throw it inside first, and then if nothing in there, he'll throw it out to the open shooter.
What I love is they obviously know they're going to have those mismatches, but they still try to run a set, get the ball side to side, knowing the intent was to eventually get that steal for Baines down low.
Here's McCall with a bit of a herky-jerk move. And goes straight back up and can't connect on the second attempt. Kadee races down the floor. Krebs goes with the reverse. That's off the rim. Wardenberg with a couple of double-digit scoring games in his last couple. McCall gets straight past Baines. Can't get the finish.
That's a smart play. When you got a big guy up top and everybody's looking at their player, you got to go straight to that basket, and that's what he did. That's a smart play.
And if you're Aaron Baines in that situation, you've got to be below the free throw line. You want to 100% tempt Jim McCall to knock down the 3, probably 3 or 4 times before you're going to change that, so he can do it consistently. That's been the biggest struggle from him this year, is being able to shoot that outside shot. So Baines, for some reason, bit on that shot fake, and to Jim McCall, he's going to be too quick. He's going to get to the hoop. As we see, Kerry Williams stepping in. Good opportunity for him. Player speaks so highly of the character he brings around the team.
McCall knocks it away from White, keeps it alive for the Snakes. Great hustle, and Quoll goes back to work.
He's on fire already. He just loves playing against Brisbane, doesn't he?
Some players just know. You just know you've got that team you're coming up against and that place where you're comfortable to play in.
Maybe saw what DJ Vasiljevic did last night and thought, I could have a piece of that. 42 for Vasiljevic on 10 threes.
Not too many people are going to see have those kind of performances.
The Kings last night. Now the Taipans in the open floor. McCall throws it ahead to Scott. This is a bright spark, or a bright start for the Snakes. Up by 5 early doors. Krebs from downtown.
He's another one who's been pretty good, Tanner Krebs, over the last couple of weeks. But again, you're letting Cairns off the hook by that. It's a quick shot. It's one pass off that little side ball screen. As Bull Quoll, he's gone for 40. He's gone for 40.
What is he going for, B, already?
He's going for Adam 40.
And an early timeout. Bull Quoll on the board with 6 points on 3 of 3 shooting. He had 23 on 7 of 10 shooting last time these two sides met. And the Rookie of the Year from last season is in fine form early.
He's not messing around, is he?
Not messing around. Bit of work for Greg Vanderjagt to do in the timeout. He spoke to Derek Rucker pre-game about settling in as coach.
It's been a little bit less chaotic the last 2 weeks, definitely. We've had some time on the practice floor. We're whole again for the first time under my, I guess, tenure. Second game this year, we've had our original 11 contracted players on the floor, so that's been nice to see everybody suited up in the locker room. So yeah, it's sort of been a little bit of calm, despite, you know, the results obviously haven't been what we wanted them to be, but I feel like we're playing decent basketball, and, you know, the performance against United was positive, and a lot of things that we can control coming out of that game as well.
Speaking of the final member of our broadcast team, let's check in courtside with Derek Rucker. Evening, Derek.
Thank you, Joel. Good evening, guys. And look here, Greg Vanderjagt pointed out very clearly in the pregame huddle that he wanted discipline on the offensive end. While they have been fairly disciplined, that last shot from Tanner Krebs, as you pointed out, Hools, that's the one that's going to drive him crazy. And those are the types of plays that get the Bullets into a lot of trouble. Not to mention the defensive leaks all over the place. 9 points in just 2 minutes is excessive, guys.
Well, we saw a replay of it just there. That shot from Tanner Krebs, he can get at any point in the offense. So you are literally letting them off the hook by doing that, as Jason Kadee knocks down his first one.
And the problem is they can catch fire, though. You're right. Sobey can catch fire. Kadee can catch fire. And when they make them, they think they can keep doing the whole game. But I just think you got to use that big guy a little bit more inside and then kick it out.
Snaps a 7-0 run, and Bull Quoll's in there again. 4 from 4 to start.
Oh, 8 points already for Bull Quoll. And again, another one. I just love his activity, the way he goes about it. And he's had a couple of rough offensive nights. We know he's a real 3-and-D type player. There's to Jim McCall. Just too sneaky on the defensive end.
It's real disruption on defense from the Taipans. McCall looking at McCall. Thought about the drive-by. They fling it around the Snakes. McCall's active, trying to chase down his own miss. Baines comes up with it.
Just energy everywhere for Cairns.
Well, not happy going on the other end. And you really just got to stay disciplined. That's the key for the Brisbane Bullets in this game. Okay, the first set of the game, we got it side to side, and we got Aaron Baines, a seal, basically on the charge circle. What a pass from Shannon Scott to Wardenberg. And they had an easy bucket. They haven't got back to that since.
You got to get some subs in there. These guys don't have the energy level's not the same.
Great start for the Taipans. A little bit to worry about for the Bullets. Almost another turnover. Mitchell had it almost poked away by Scott. Sobey over McCall. Can't connect. Tell you what, just walls up Aaron Baines.
That was very close to a foul, I think, on Bull Quoll. But to Jim McCall's effort to really take up space was tremendous. Aaron Baines, they were going to front him. That's a great pass.
Kadee to Krebs, who runs the break.
That's the one way you can really attack Cairns. For a team that likes to play really fast, if you get the chance to really attack them before they're set defensively, kind of taste of your own medicine stuff.
Do you want to run with Cairns, though? Is this the kind of game where you want to run with these guys?
I think in a couple of times, here's the game you replay, that turnover there, and Tanner Krebs just beat everybody down the floor. You don't want to do it too often, but it's more of a, okay, we're here, Cairns. If you're going to play fast and you're going to give us the ability for someone to get out in the lane or someone to run the lanes hard, we're going to take advantage of that. So
they're 2 and 3 in pace in the competition this season. So it's not like they don't do it, Brisbane, but it's certainly a strength of the Taipans.
Absolutely.
And they've shown it early. Ben Air, after his extended warm-up pre-game, he's out there ready to check in. Ball comes up short.
Gak has checked into the game, played a total of 1 second and got 1 rebound.
DJ Mitchell out there as well now for the Bullets.
Look at this lineup for the Cairns Taipans. Josh Davey out there.
Sobey inside, looking for Gak, lost the handle, and it's off his hands last. So his last month, Gorjak Gak has been tremendous. 21 minutes on average, 11.4 points on 62% shooting, 7.1 rebounds, 3.5 of those offensively. Well, across 7 games now, plus a block and a steal.
And you heard Vandy talking a little bit about in that clip to Ruck pre-game when they were at full strength. So Harrison came back in after missing a chunk of the season. Gak barely played. Well, I think right now he's someone who's got to be playing a lot of minutes because he's more than deserving of them, but he's delivering. That's the most important thing.
And he brings the energy as well. I mean, offensively, defensively, he's blocking shots. He's running the court. He makes the right pass. Not doing anything he can't do.
Johnson with the step back. That won't go. There is Gack in on the play. McCall knocks it away from him. And again, last touch by Gorjak Gack.
Just effort everywhere.
So yeah, hits the body first of DJ Hogue. Doesn't let him try and box him out. You don't get rewarded for it, but it's just those little 1%ers.
Paul Quall with 8 early points for the Taipans, who lead by 6. Joel Peterson, Leonard Copeland, Pete Hawley with you. Derek Rucker courtside. Eastern Arena. Thursday night hoops in the Hungry Jacks NBL here in round 14. Quall to Hogue at the elbow. Likes the matchup with Mitchell. 3 balls a little bit strong.
It's a big man box out, isn't it? That's a big man box out. He does it. He's a great player, a young great player.
He's someone every club would want. Every coach you'd want to have a Gack as part of your team, because it's those things that Tyler Johnson spoke about where you can't coach effort. He just goes out there, plays 100% every single possession, and good things happen more often than not.
And as a fan base, when you've had a tough season, having a young player like him emerge just gives you something to cling to, something to watch, develop. Something that you can invest in for the future. They've certainly got that in Gorjak Gack. Turnover there. Here's Hogue in attack mode. Can't get it to go. Davey rips it off the rim. Quall underneath. Hogue's fouled.
This is better for me, for DJ Hogue. Now, I love his game. I think he's had a tremendous season, but so often we see him just coast a little bit in games. I think he sometimes starts first quarter strong, but then hits a real low in the second and third quarters before ramping it up in the clutch. He seems to love stepping up in the fourth quarter. I think he's too strong offensively. He's got a great skill set for him to just coast in the middle of the games. He needs to continue to be aggressive.
Your chance to win the trip of a lifetime to the US for you and a mate to meet Shaquille O'Neal. Flights, accommodation and spending money included. Enter now by scanning the QR code on your screen.
You're absolutely right, Bulls. Sometimes he goes missing, but it's not necessarily the team's fault or his fault. I think both have to be, have to make themselves aware that he's not getting enough shots, because what he does from the outside is fantastic. But he's got a big body. He can post up, he can get him the ball inside. He's smart. Sometimes you have to be a little bit selfish if you're that good on the offensive end.
Tell you what, Tajim McCall looks so confused with that foul call, and I don't think he did a whole lot wrong. I actually think it might have been Josh Davey who bumped Sobey into McCall. He's going to be whistled for the foul.
Still trying to work things out. Andrew White back out there for Brisbane in the 4th number that he's played in this season. Pete, number 3, number 75, number 79, and number 85.
Good take from Tyler Johnson. He's just trying to get the scout messed up every time. Those players who just seem to
confusing you.
See what number everybody is. I would say that's more of a college thing when you get a new team all the time, rather than teams you play every now and then.
Gack again in on a play. That time bounced off his shoe. Big size 15 of Gorjak Gack. Baseline ball for air. Juk Deng likes to look at the instant take and release. 5-point Taipans lead. Johnson going to work inside. White thought about it, hesitated, and then made some contact with Quall on the way through.
White's another one I'd like to see get more involved. Right now, he's just a piece of the offense. He's just out there. He's not really doing a lot. He's not rebounding. He's not passing the ball. He's not getting up in his shots.
Well, it's interesting because he starts in the power forward spot, basically. Now you've got Gack and Mitchell out there who slides to the 3. I'd like to see them run a couple things for him. I'll put him in those offensive sets where maybe it's Tyler Johnson or Sobey coming off a ball screen and he replaces it. He's got an unbelievably nice set shot, but he just doesn't get to it enough.
Turnover here. McCall looks it off and lays it home. Beautiful look away. 7-point lead for the Snakes. Let's go courtside to Derek.
As this game slowly starts to get away from the Bullets early, Pools and Copes, I want to talk to you about their offensive structure, because sometimes in the modern game, the way it's structured is the ball is moving and everybody's getting touches, and sometimes there's no direction in terms of who's going to be shooting the ball. Whereas, you know, Copes, in your offense with the Melbourne Tigers, you were pretty aware of when the ball was going to be coming to you and when and how you were going to get your shots.
Absolutely, you're right.
It's easy when the ball's in your hands the entire game. I ain't just one thing on the
pool's easy.
Just give it to Copes, get it away.
No, Derek, you're absolutely right, because the way the offense is structured today, there's ball movement, yes, but no one's looking at the ring. No one's looking at the basket. You got to know when especially if you're an offensive guy and you have to score, you got to know when it's your shot.
And it's such a simple game. That first possession, we saw the ball swing from the Bullets to one side. They got it back to a ball screen, but it was designed for Baines to basically seal where Sobey and Josh Davey were there on the top of the charge circle, and they scored. So next time you come down the floor, you run the exact same set and see how they're going to defend it. If they try and stop it, you go to something else. But you continue to milk it until the defense says, you know what, we're going to take you out of that.
Absolutely.
Game-high 9-point lead for the Snakes after Ben Ayres pull-up. Mitchell backs his way inside. Strong move. Just dried up offensively in this opening period after a fast start for both. McCall's fouled by Mitchell. And they have a little bit of a push and shove.
Well,
now there's a bit more push and shove. Mirko Jeric's in there. Johnson's not happy.
Mirko, get out. Tyler, leave us deal with this. You go.
That's a proper fracker.
Well, colour me shocked. Mirko Jeric is right in the heat of it, but this is going to get looked at, you think. Just to see that look like there might have been a couple of extracurriculars in there.
A little push in the face here and there. And
I'm trying to prevent it.
Have another look at this. So this is all that happened was Jim McCall was just continuing with it. And I don't mind that from DJ Mitchell.
No. Push.
And Jim McCall had something to say, and then Gak came in.
Push. Oh.
Right there.
Johnson not happy with the treatment from Jeric. Sobey giving an all-time glare.
As you mentioned, Coach, that little bit, I'm not sure if he meant to get it, but it ended up going above the shoulders of Jeric and onto the side of the face a little bit, that little backhand from Mitchell.
Yeah.
So this is where the replay center is in full effect. They're going to be breaking down.
Oh, there's cameras everywhere. There's cameras everywhere.
A bunch of different angles. So I have nothing wrong with that from both players. If you're going to continue McCall, the Mitchell's allowed to stop it.
Right
and then
there.
afterwards, Sobey did well to try and break up.
Right
that one
there.
right there is something that Mitchell might regret, you'd think.
The Mitchell-McCall interaction, there's not too much in that.
Nothing
They kind of look each other off.
So, and tell you what, they always look at third man in as well. Who's going to try and escalate it? So these two aren't happy with it. Gak has a little bit of a shove, and then Jerry's comes into Mitchell. But that right there, that's something that Tyler Johnson looks like he's trying to escalate. He's actually trying to de-escalate it. He's trying to separate everyone. So he did a really good job early on.
Courtside spectators getting value for money in that little exchange.
So are we. So are we, brother.
Absolutely. So 7-point lead to the Taipans. 18-11. Joel Peterson, Leonard Copeland, Pete Hooley with you. Derek Rucker courtside as well. Minute and a half remaining in this opening period. Bull Qualls got 8 points to pace all scorers. Jason Kadee with 3 leads the way for the Bullets. Let's go down to Derek. Derek, what was your view on that little incident?
Look, there was a lot going on, as we saw in the numerous replays, but one of the things I don't like as a response is when one of the guys that was in the practice is removed from the game, and now, right now, Tajer is sitting on the bench. He may have been subbed out, and I always feel that's a little bit of a psychological advantage to the Bullets. When you're in the mix, you don't want your coach penalizing you for getting into it. I want to stay in the game.
McCall does come out. Harrison's back in there for the Bullets. They continue to review this one in the replay centre. Would you have wanted to stay out there, Leonard? You fired up?
Yeah, probably. But Lindsay would have snatched me too, because he knows I'm probably swinging on the first person coming at me, Hools.
Well, again, this is going to be really looked at as they're going to break down here.
Foul. Then we have an unsportsmanlike foul on blue 0. We are shooting 2 shots to Zeric and side ball.
Well, there you go. So after all of that, it's just the regular first foul, the initial foul from DJ Mitchell, and then the unsportsmanlike, which you alluded to, Cope. So that was the first foul. That was just a little bit after. And all of this right here is mayonnaise. This is just a bit extra, but that right there was the unsportsmanlike foul from DJ Mitchell, and in the end, that's it.
Let's get a bit of an explainer on it. The head of referees with the NBL, Scott Butler, joins us to talk us through that one. Scott, give us the detail on how that's unfolded.
Right, Joel, I just heard you guys finishing the playoff, so what I see on the play, you've got the first foul on Mitchell, which is just a normal foul. There's a bit of interaction between the players afterwards, nothing that actually rises to a level of needing a foul call. And then you've got Mitchell swiping out and hitting Jeric in the face, so that requires an unsportsmanlike foul, and that's the final result in the play.
There you go, perfectly explained. And I'll tell you what, I'd love Scott Butler to just turn around and say, at the beginning, that was all nothing, that was all mayonnaise, but we had a look at that last bit, we didn't like that.
Great to have Scott in the coverage to help unpack those little moments. Air goes to work with the baseline leaner. Couple of buckets to start here for Ben Air. He spent a good 45 minutes pre-game warming up all by himself out there, Leonard. He was warm when this started tonight.
He put on a show in warm-ups.
Nice. Johnson goes to work inside at the other end.
Take from Tyler Johnson. And again, ever since he was coming off the bench, I think he was really just trying to help everybody get involved on this team offensively. And now in the last couple of games, he's realised, I've got to be a spark plug offensively off the bench. We've got Sobey in the starting unit, Baines as well.
But that's why they brought him over here. They brought him over here to
well, no doubt.
to get some, put the ball up, get some points.
Yep. I'm here. I've got a story about Ben Air.
Sinks the second at the line.
Or before the game, guys, as he feeds Sam Wardenberg there for a foul. But Ben Air came up to me, guys. If you remember a couple of weeks ago, I said that Cairns had the best 1 through 8. Ben came up to me and was disappointed that I left him out of the 8. He said, I'm no number 9. He said, I'm in that 8. He said, who else, what other number 9 has scored 15 and a quarter? And I said, well, look, 3 of those were luck. That shot he threw up off the glass was luck. So, hey, he's coming out tonight. He's still staring at me. Ben Air is staring at me right now. I don't know what, he's still staring. Ben, why are you looking at me? I want you to do well. He's trying to prove his point, Coach.
Oh, that's funny.
I would have turned around and said, you're actually number 10. Yes. But look, we saw he was warming up forever, and it's just someone who has worked so hard for his opportunity. Adam Ford knew that, and we saw his breakout game last season that, in the end, you'd say got him signed.
Hey, now let me tell you something. He can go off. I've seen him put it up. He can put up some numbers.
When he comes into the game, he comes in with confidence and with work
here we go.
like he had previously. You can see why. There he fires away. Johnson pulls down the rebound. Half a minute remaining in this first period. Tyler Johnson all the way.
That's just too easy. That's what I'm talking about. If Cairns can't get set up in the half-court defence, you can really attack them. It was a good little seal, good little shepherd from Tyrell Harrison, which allowed Johnson to get down.
Probably a bad shot before that, though, that got them running.
Well, I blame Ruck. Ruck was getting stuck into him. That was always going up from Ben Air.
So shot clock won't factor in here at the end of the opening frame. Shannon Scott goes to work, swings it cross court. Nico Jeric can't connect. Scott pulls down the miss, fires it up, can't get it to go. A little bit of time remaining here after the battle for the loose ball. Going to stay with the Snakes on the offensive end with half a second remaining.
What time to catch and shoot. Tell you what, Nico Jeric has a very quick release. They're going to add some time on this clock. I was going to say, as DJ Hogue comes in for the quickest release on the floor, Majuk Deng's probably the one, and he's got a really slow release. So Majuk Deng is probably the one you don't want to shoot this. The rest can get it up pretty quick.
Air assesses his options. Here's Wardenberg for 3. That one won't go. And we get to quarter time with a 6-point lead to the Snakes. It's been physical in the opening frame in Brisbane. The Taipans 24 lead the Bullets 18. Quarter time in Brisbane, Thursday night hoops in the Hungry Jacks NBL. Physical start to this one. Bull Quoll got us going early with a real impact, 8 points in the first quarter for the Taipans. And a little bit of a fracas breaking out. TJ Mitchell picking up a technical foul. Kerry Williams into the game as stand-in coach for Adam Ford, and he's had plenty to work with in this opening quarter, Lennard Copeland and Pete Hawley, and he'd be pretty pleased with what he's seen so far, I'd imagine.
Look, I think they did a great job. 6 turnovers from the Bullets, and if you turn the ball over against this outfit from the Taipans, you're in big trouble. They've got too many weapons, they get down the floor too quick, and they're not afraid to take those quick shots. That's the way they kind of play, and I think they would be a little upset with those easy buckets they gave to Brisbane at the end of that quarter, but overall they'll be impressed to start like that on your opponent's home floor.
I'd like to see them go inside again. The first play of the game, they went inside the Baines, and they scored. They haven't done it since.
Johnson now to White, who lays that one home off the steal.
Good steal from Tyler Johnson. Just read the play a step ahead. And you spot on, Copes, and we sound like a broken record, but it was so easy. They got to that spot, and they haven't gone back to it.
But how many times have we seen that from Brisbane this season? They go into Baines and they get him established, and then it just disappears.
Well, let's not forget he was a game-time decision as well in terms of a fitness test, so there was a big chance he was potentially not even going to be suiting up.
As Krebs couldn't connect with that. Birthday yesterday for Tanner Krebs.
It's not the only one.
I've heard that. 27-year-old Krebs yesterday. Of course, our own Alistair Nicholson, I assume you're referring to there, Pete.
I was talking about yourself, mate. Happy birthday.
What are you, 22 now, 23?
Oh, maybe.
Young fella.
I'm out of the 20s, put it that way, Lennard.
That's all you got to say.
I got shoes older than Joel over here, bro.
Gazy. You probably got shoes that are better looking than Joel as well, Lennard, I'd say.
Not the A Gazies.
Nah, not
Has he ever given you a pair?
He has given me a couple of pairs. He's done the right thing. He's done the right thing.
What are you telling me? He's got to pick an NBL player and sign them to the Gaze brand.
Yeah, I said that. He tried to sign me back in the day when the shoes weren't that great. They're better now.
You're too athletic back in the day for that.
No, I was wearing different brands, so
DJ Hogue at the line. He didn't love the look of the second one, judging by the expression on his face. But
it went in. It went in. It's all that matters.
Don't have to paint pictures on the box score.
Well, it's 3 or 4 from the free throw line, 0 of 3 from the field, and he'd be kicking himself that wasn't a 3-point play. That was a layup. It just rolled out.
Tell you what, Tyler Johnson's come out with a different attitude today, though. He's full of energy, making the right pass. He's scoring baskets. He's getting steals.
Today can't connect. White almost taps it home. Oh, big block from Deng, denies Harrison. Great defensive play. Oh, and Scott flung it into Kadee. It dropped at his feet. The Brisbane guard ran away with it, and a whistle on the play.
Been happening in those 20 seconds right there. Juk Deng doesn't like it, but that's the block from Deng, and then Kadee just stuck with the play. Got the turnover. Shannon Scott tried to be tricky, and it just fell straight back down. And Juk Deng gets whistled for the foul.
Certainly wasn't a lack of velocity that hurt Shannon Scott there.
No.
He really rammed that in to the leg and the arm of Jason Kadee. Looked like something Henrik Norkia would have been sending down in the test match at Sydney. Kadee gets to the floater, can't get it to go. Wardenberg pulls down the miss. Scott, Quoll, Hogue, Wardenberg, Deng out there for the Snakes. Scott just buries the shoulder into Tyrell Harrison on the perimeter.
Got the mismatch. That's exactly what you have to do. Get downhill, don't settle for anything that's outside of the keyway when you've got a centre guarding you. That's a great play from Shannon Scott. And this is the interesting thing. So Bull Quoll had the 8 points in the first quarter. He's not really a guy they run sets for. He's the one who's going to spot up in the corner, a real 3-and-D type player. But I think this is a game when he started hot and his history where you can run a couple of sets for him to get in the corner threes or get some open looks.
Absolutely. I tell you what, if I had 8 points in the first quarter, I'm taking the next 5 shots in the second quarter. Sometimes you have to go get that ball yourself.
Started 4 of 4, did Quoll.
Now, Copes, if you didn't have 8 points in the first quarter, you're taking the next 5 shots.
Oh, yeah, you might do that.
Johnson leaves it behind. Quoll comes up with the loose ball. Gets to the left hand, lays it home. Smooth finish.
10 points already. There it is, Bull Quoll.
He's so mature for his age, offensively and defensively. Plays great defense, runs the floor, can shoot the ball well. Just smart.
This is a man who's playing for the Knox Raiders. In NBL1, Adam Ford like what he saw, gave him a chance, and we rewind to the start of last year. I'm talking the NBL Blitz down in Tasmania. He was barely hitting the floor, if at all, until a couple of injuries for the Taipans, where he had to play. And all of a sudden, Adam Ford thought, okay, this is someone who we might be able to play a few minutes here or there in the rotation. More injuries throughout their season, their disrupted season, and boy, did he take full advantage of the opportunity. And Andrew White on cue, Copes.
There's my boy. Get yourself going.
Such a lovely stroke from outside Andrew White.
Speaking of lovely strokes.
Oh, yeah. DJ Hogue.
Can't find it. He's been off a little bit the last couple of games.
Oh, that's a really good look.
Doesn't need an invitation. Shooting it just under 33% from downtown this season. McCall comes up with a loose ball. He just ripped it away on defense and then fires it to Wardenberg, who can't connect, but he will go to the stripe.
It's hard to not love Tajir McCall's game. And again, the way he goes about it, he does have his tendencies would turn the ball over and whatnot, but he's always going at that full pace on the defensive end. And he's a spark plug. And I think at full strength, if he's the one who has to come off the bench, I think it's only going to be more beneficial because he gets to see the way the game's being officiated or what's going to happen. And if there's any lull at the start of the game, you bring him in and all of a sudden the rest of the team's coming along for the ride.
They trust him as well. We spoke to 40 earlier in the year and he just said, look, he's one of those guys that I really trust. He runs a team for me. He is the guy, the go-to guy, and he's the man that we look forward to being the coach on the floor.
Trust him so much. You let him coach at the Blitz.
Absolutely.
Oh, I remember that. I love that.
Didn't go all that well in terms of a result, but he was up. He dressed as if he was going to play Tajir McCall, and then spent the night on the sideline in their final NBL Blitz game up in Darwin. Here's Baines inside. He can't get it to go. Just the second field goal attempt for Aaron Baines. He made his first, missed the second.
And then tried to rebound that with his face. There are more efficient ways to get a rebound. Whatever
works for you, Pete.
Well, it didn't work for him there.
Kadee to inbound. Sobey hasn't scored as yet.
Tanner Krebs has just turned down a layup and waited for the defense.
To kick it back outside for a three when you got a mouse in the house.
Well, he didn't have anyone at the start.
And at the other end, Hogue makes them pay.
It's only a matter of time. 0-4 to start. Really good looks. When he's hit 3 or 4 free throws, he knows the next one's going to feel pretty good out the hands, and it did there.
And a bit of the second quarter specialist this season, DJ Hogue. He's taken a little while to get going in a few of his games. White was well strong on that one.
This is the offense that gets them in trouble. When they just start looking for threes every time down the floor.
Call goes to work on White and draws the foul. It's a 10-point lead to the Taipans. They led by as many as 11 in the opening frame.
Hard not to enjoy the way they play. Again, this is DJ Hogue. It's a really smart play from Tajir McCall. The way he kind of just ran into the defense and got DJ Hogue that open look. Let's not forget that game when they played Adelaide. Unbelievable end that was.
This season, with thanks to Latrobe Financial, we're giving away a guaranteed $50,000. You can enter now at nbl.com.au/legends for your chance to win.
Down 18 with 6 minutes 30 to go. And they came back to win that game against Adelaide.
I still can't believe it. Ooh.
Now McCall hits the floor. Oh, Krebs is into it. McCall has been involved in a couple of incidents tonight. Greg Vanderjagt's out there to...
Tanner Krebs, what are you a little careful with? Oh, he sold that to Jim McCall. Oh, then the end, that shove. So he sold the start, but that shove, that's an easy call in the end. On Tanner Krebs. But he was fired up.
Unhappy. Might not have got what he wanted for his birthday yesterday, Pete.
Oh, I have a lot of frustration.
Can we please review for
Tajir McCall less frustrated, you say, by the look.
But again, I think they're going to have another look. So this is what Tajir McCall is doing right now. You saw the way he was slapping the ground and yelling at Tanner Krebs for getting the call. So right here, so Tanner Krebs gets the rebound. Tajir McCall's trying to get his hand in there to get another little steal. So right there. It's the baseline angle that showed that little extension. So it was an easy call in the end. Didn't have to do it, Tanner Krebs, but so right here. So right there, and that shove, that's going to be an easy call.
Yep.
But Tajir McCall, obviously loving that they get the ball back, was really handing it to him on the ground. And Krebs just got fired up, and that's why I think what they're looking at is everything that happened after that.
Jim McCall has been plenty of energy so far, and then a little bit of chat afterwards. Wanted to go on with it.
Okay, so the first foul, blue 17 for the illegal screen, and we have a technical foul, blue 17 for the taunting afterwards. We have one shot. Goal ball.
Equal game high 11-point lead for the Snakes. Let's check in with Scott Butler in the replay centre. Scott, talk us through that one.
All right, guys, when you work your way through the play, you see the illegal screen. That part of the play is pretty clear. The guys talk to each other after that, but then number 17, Krebs, stands over the top of McCall on the floor, and there's taunting action there involved, and that's the part that leads to the technical foul.
See that now. Thanks, Scott.
Thanks, guys.
I thought it might have been a little bit more for what happened afterwards. Jim McCall right now, he's getting under their skin and it's working.
Absolutely.
Game high 12-point lead for the Snakes. Recipe for success with a bit of defense and disruption. Air goes back to work. Cairns another one. 15 all in the first quarter against Illawarra for Ben Air. He's come out firing here in the second.
I tell you what, Sobey's been pretty quiet this whole first half, hasn't he?
Just one field goal attempt. Might have heard you.
Got to his left hand there and couldn't quite get it to go. Nathan Sobey had 30 points a couple of times in a row before he came back down to earth on New Year's Day with 14 against Melbourne United. And another bucket for the Taipans as they continue to get good work. Paul Quall with another. He's up to 12.
That's just too easy.
Got to run something for him.
It's just too easy.
This lead is really ballooning, almost getting out of control. Kadee capitalises on the loose ball. Gack reaches over the top. And a foul on the play.
Tell you what, here is Paul Quall. It's downhill. I think Nathan Sobey thought there was a switch. And Quall, that's just a really smart read. Look at the space he creates away from Gorjak Gack. Down the other end, Jim McCall is everywhere. He's got 3 steals. He's probably got another 3 deflections. He is just saying, I've got the ultimate freedom. When we're undersized, I'm just going to run around, and I know that everyone else has got my back. If I have that play there, I might give up that open look, but more often than not, I'm going to back myself to get that steal.
Absolutely.
Causing a bit of havoc early doors. Let's go courtside to Derek Rucker.
And Pete, I agree with you wholeheartedly. You have to deal with McCall's physical presence, his athleticism, his energy, and although he may not be the best shooter, you know, he outweighs that with all those other things that he does out on the court. And right now, he is really giving the Bullets a lot of problems. Also, the Taipans are used to playing like this. The Bullets aren't used to playing at this energy level, this effort level. So you can see emotionally, they're not adapting to it well, and it's showing in their performance. Their skills are all out of whack. They've got 24 points in 15 minutes.
Snaps an 11-0 run for the Taipans. Gack pokes it away from Ho. Good defense. Lots of pressure there. Oh, that's not a good sign there. Is that Quall who's gone down off the ball?
Yeah, it doesn't look good at all trying to get back into the play.
This Sobey can't get it to go. Paul Quall is limping, so he went down as the ball was being fought for in the backcourt. Kadee came up with it.
Oh, look here,
See the
Paul
play
Quall.
here.
So it's just slipping right on where Gack had slid right through with all the sweat that Gack from diving on the floor. So hope that's nothing.
Hopefully he'll be all right.
Well, he started tremendously, but he was talking about how important Jim McCall is for this team. Paul Quall, just as important, I think.
Especially against the Bullets, because he loves, you know, you ever played against a team you just love to go at? He loves to go at the Bullets.
I used to love to go at this team when I played for my dad's over 35 team. I used to love that. I always used to get stuck in my old man because he couldn't shoot from the short corner.
You can't either.
That's what
so what difference does it make?
It's either a layup or sit down.
I'm talking about
So
here.
ball call, that's not ideal. It looks like something with inside of the knee. That's not ideal. Because as I said, his offense, it's hit and miss sometimes in terms of what he can bring. He loves playing against the Bullets, but defensively, they're not the same team without him. I think he's someone that, you look at the best defenders in the league, I'm talking the likes of Xavier Cooks, Derek Pardon, these elite defensive guys. Ball call's right up there.
And rarely do you put a young guy on your best offensive player.
Exactly right. And with that, let's not forget probably the two leading candidates of Justin Simon and Tony Cleveland as well.
Hogue from the corner.
That's such a pretty shot.
Starting to get going now is DJ up to 10. 18-point lead as Johnson gets it to go at the other end. Taipans by 6 at quarter time. In the dominant second term, Baines sends it back as Scott tried to flip it home. Back out to McCall. He can't get it to go. Baines pulls down the rebounds. Gack, Kadee, Johnson, Baines and Sobey out there for the Bullets. Kadee goes baseline, works his way inside. It rolls off the rim, but he'll go to the line.
Smart take, Jason Kadee. Again, the key just opened up. Have another look here. Maybe he's playing a little bit of a drops, but if Tajima McCall's not going to get back in front of you that deep, you just got to stand there and call a late switch and tell Tajima McCall to get out to the three-point line and try and guard Baines.
Timeout on the floor. Cairns up by 16. Tajima McCall, he's created plenty of havoc so far in this game. He's created turnovers on the defensive end. He had a little bit to say to Derek pre-game about his turnovers at the other end of the floor.
One of the things that analyst Lennar Copeland gets very frustrated with is your turnovers, especially in the open court. How have you corrected that, though, because you've done a good job in minimizing them lately?
I'm still learning the game. I started playing in 11th, 12th grade, like really playing basketball. So now the game's slowing down for me. I'm starting to understand when to pick your spots and what pace to play at and when to use certain transitions. So that's just it for me. I'm still learning. I'm still understanding, but I'm getting a good hang of it now.
Is that something that the coach, Adam Ford, addressed with you when you were having that run, or did he just tell you to keep playing?
Nah, he know I work hard, and he know I study the game. Like, he trusts in what the work I put in and what I see and the knowledge that I learned from him and learned from all over. So it was never no pressure for him, but it was pressure on me because I know how much the ball means to our team and how much I mean to our team. So, yeah.
What do you make of the response there, Copes?
I thought that was a smart answer. I mean, I don't know if he's a point guard who's or maybe 1-2. And that's where the turnovers hurt him because a true point guard would make some of the passes he makes. But you're right when you said I'd much rather have him on the floor than off the floor because he brings the energy. He's always involved in something. He's always got his hands out. He's always got steals. He's always trying to get people involved. And he's an unselfish player, so I'd much rather have him on the court than off the court.
Yeah, when we so often forget, we heard him say it, but he started the game so late. Year 11, year 12, and still learning at the pro level especially of what he can bring. And it's a juggling act for Adam Ford because we know he's had the struggles turning the ball over, but if you try and pull back too much on that, you take away what he does so well and what he brings to the team. So I'll tell you what, if there's any coach that's going to be the best to get out of him, it's going to be Adam Ford because he wants you to play loose, he wants you to play free, but he's also going to hold you accountable on that end.
Just a real X factor for them. Of course, he missed a fair chunk of the early part of the season with a hip injury. Came back and he's been in terrific form. There's Tajima McCall having 15 points a game in 30 minutes for the Snakes. Here's Hogue working on Gack.
There's your boy, Pete.
Pokes it away. Another great start here, Gack. Kadee pulls up from deep.
The momentum starting to swing towards the Bullets, and it starts from those hands with Gack on Hogue. Good sign for the Taipans. Bull Cole into the bench to check in. Here's a little 1-3-1 zone.
Air to Hogue, quick release. Doesn't need much time, DJ. McCall left wide open. Leaves the floater short, gets another go and banks it home.
So crafty. Crafty is the word I'm looking for.
Well, he's 2 of 9 from the field, and he finally got that one to drop.
Left the first one a long way short, so he compensated with the second and got the desired result. 13-point lead for the Snakes. Johnson for 3. Nowhere near it. McCall's involved in another scuffle. This time he and Baines getting into it. Greg Vanderjagt's in there again. Hear the thoughts of the Brisbane coach and how things are going throughout the course of the night.
Well, there's a reason. There's a reason it's always. I mean, that was easy.
Baines has pulled out the grapple hook on the arm of Tajima McCall.
Flat out tackle.
What do you want to say? Hey?
Clipped his wing.
The rebound where he pulls him down, yeah?
So Aaron Baines saying, look at the first one. So Aaron Baines is saying that one there before he starts to do the pull. That's the easy one. That's what Baines was complaining about was happened before that. But
You want the answer or do you want to keep talking at me? Oh, well, you're not giving me anything. You haven't given me a chance to speak. Well, you haven't given me anything tonight. Can I talk now? The screen's great. He's trying to go around you. I don't believe there's any impact in the hole. Then you take him to the ground. If someone runs through me, I don't believe he did that. And I'm falling down. I gave you my answer.
I think Aaron Baines might disagree with that answer.
Personally, if there's any referee who's going to get close to matching the strength of Aaron Baines, straight to roll.
Might take all three of them.
Oh. But to Jim McCall, well, if he wasn't already public enemy #1 of this crowd, he'll be soon.
He's playing smart, though. He's getting the best out of him.
So it ends up being a loose ball foul. 14-point Taipans lead. 2 minutes remaining in this first half. Sobey still scoreless. 0 of 4 from the field. Wardenberg's taken a tumble.
Well, hopefully it's all right for Wardenberg firstly. I know the last time what happened from DJ Mitchell, and Aaron Baines is still not happy.
Blue 12. Push. Yeah,
so having a look here. Aaron Baines.
You're not calling the first freaking foul. You're not calling the first
Aaron.
Each time.
Aaron.
It's not good enough.
I got it. Leave it. Leave it. Go.
You just say though.
Hey.
On the
Hero.
I got him.
Go. Chris.
Here, Greg Vanderjack getting involved.
Because he just ran straight into the back.
Thursday night.
Because he ran straight into the back of the player.
Down here.
Okay.
So I think Aaron Baines, he wasn't happy with the first bit of when he was rolling with Tajir McCall. So there's no question about the foul on Sam Wardenberg. He's saying it's the couple that are before that.
So Baines with 3 fouls now. He takes a seat. McCall's out of the game for the Taipans, who's been the instigator thus far.
Well, he has, but to be honest, he's just playing with a lot of energy. Yes,
he's not doing anything wrong.
He's doing a lot of yelling and he's getting up and about. But right now, if you're Brisbane, you just got to be a little bit smarter. Just falling into the trap, if you like.
The only cool head out there for the Bullets at the moment seems to be that of Greg Vanderjack, who's at least able to calm things down on the sideline. Second free throw, no good for Wardenberg. He comes up the floor. Taipans out here on the break. Yeah, pulls it back to Hogue, to the big fella who strokes it from downtown, Sam Wardenberg.
18-point game.
This is when you need somebody from the Bullets to pull these guys in and say, listen, guys, calm down.
Here is the game he replayed. Sam Wardenberg, he's going to take that all day, every day. He's spot on, Copes. This is a time when it's a Jason Kadee type just to say, we've just got to relax. Like, we're just falling into the trap.
So 18-point lead, an equal game high now.
Yeah, see Kerry Williams
for the Taipans
taking over. No Adam Ford. I had a chat with him at the Blitz. He's a terrific human being, terrific coach, and I'll listen to a few things about Kerry Williams.
Got the opportunity to play. Now coaching is something that keeps me involved with the game, and obviously being a point guard, it helps with that. I'm just fortunate to have these opportunities. You know, got to say yes to opportunities, and hopefully they keep coming, and hopefully I keep learning, and it works out.
Great person, great coach, and you can hear that he's very soft-spoken, but he's one of those guys, one of those coaches who, when he speaks, you listen.
Absolutely.
Players, I love him, and again, I think he's the perfect fit alongside Adam Ford. And you mentioned the Boomers' assistants, and going to continue to grow as a coach and as a human being. And the way he talks about the role model, and he has an academy in the Indigenous community, and what Keanu Pinder has been doing, his relationship with him, it's outstanding. And as we mentioned, in terms of an important off-season signing and locking him in Gorjok Gak, Adam Ford, wherever that's at, that's got to be fast-tracked, multiple years. That epitomises the Cairns Taipans, the way they want to go about it, a small market team. Let's get that done as soon as possible.
I don't think we need to keep talking about it, because if they don't, somebody else is going to grab him straight away. I mean, I've heard a couple of commentators say we got to get him signed But if they don't, it's their loss.
Oh, I'm sure
he's doing a fantastic job. You couldn't get anybody else to do a better job in Cairns.
Spot on. That's what I love about it. The way they play, the style of play. He's a true players coach, and that's exactly what gets Cairns up and about.
Getting the most out of them is Adam Ford. His quality in the fast break and air running the floor. And the lead balloons to 20 for the Snakes. There is some real venom in the way they're playing tonight. Harrison to Sobey on the other end for the Bullets. They need to start eating into this, and quick. Kadee back to Johnson. He gets it to go.
Tell you what, we got to get Sobey going too. Sobey's 0 for 4.
He's had to work really hard to get those looks. Big second quarter here. The Taipans.
DJ Hogue likes the look of the matchup on Gak. Takes it inside, can't get it to go, but it'll go.
I love his game, Copes. He is never sped up. He knows when he's got a mismatch where he's exactly trying to get to on the floor. Just took his time. He's got a great handle. Got downhill, knew Gak wasn't in the right position. He's going to go to the free throw line.
Absolutely right. He plays at his own level, his own speed.
So 51-33. DJ Hogue to go to the free throw line. Of course, tally sitting at 15 dunks and $7,500 donated to Australian prostate cancer after the first handful of games played during January. $500 for every dunk during this month going to Australian prostate cancer from our friends at Sportsbet. Hopefully we can add to that tally tonight. Xavier Cooks did his bit last night. Doing it all season, to be fair. Johnson floats it home.
Last 2 buckets from Tyler Johnson, much needed because this started to get ugly.
He's 6 for 9 off the bench, so he's doing quite well. He's bringing the energy. He just needs he needs a little help.
6 of 9, as you say, Copes. 13 points for Tyler Johnson. He's the only Bullet in double digits. The Taipans have got 3 of them in Hogue, Wardenberg, and Quoll, who's back out there.
Exact same play, exact same speed, exact same result.
Again, it's nothing tricky. And if you're Harrison, you're in trouble no matter what, because you've got to take away the 3 ball, even though he's just 2 of 6. He's just going to get downhill, and that's where
there has to be some rotation.
There's got to be a rotation. So it's got to be, if you're Harrison guarding that, you want to have someone who's loaded up behind to say, send him this way. I'm going to put my body in a position where it looks like I'm there to help, and try and force him away from the hoop. He really crawled in to his right hip and tried to send him that way, basically invited him to get downhill.
Or yell, help, help, something. But you cannot let this keep happening.
So DJ Hogue's had a busy night at the free throw line already. Cans a couple there. He's 8 of 9 on the evening from the stripe. The lead is back out to 20. As big as it's been in the game. Johnson going to work with a 3rd straight bucket. Couple of seconds left. Wardenberg to beat the halftime buzzer. That one is offline. And it is halftime at Nissan Arena. Tyler Johnson's had a bit to say to the referees. He's not alone in this first half as far as the Bullets are concerned. And it's a dominant first half for the Taipans, who lead at 55-37. Pretty impressive offensive display.
Well, right now they're winning the physical and emotional battle. Right now in the Taipans, they wanted to set the tone, and they've done that in the first half. Everybody's chipping in.
Too much complaining.
And all these little mental battles are going the way of the Taipans.
It's been a chippy start. Let's go courtside to Derek Rucker, who's with his man, Ben Air.
Here with Ben Hare. Ben, 8 points for you in the first half. Are you visibly taunting me on the court?
Yes, I am.
Why?
Just because of our conversation pregame, but, you know, it's all love. Yeah.
You bring a lot of spark off the bench. We love what you do. What was working for you guys offensively in that half?
I think just our pace, you know, that's what we really try to focus on every game, just pushing the ball. We got a lot of great ball handlers. Guys can get to the bucket, so we're just trying to play.
Did you get any instruction pregame from Kerry to be more aggressive than usual with KP out and you guys being on the road, and also knowing Bull likes to play in this arena?
Not really. I mean, we get that encouragement every single day. Practice, game, doesn't matter. You know, they're always telling us, all of us, to be aggressive. And, yeah, just all of us is trying to find our rhythm. And Bull loves playing in Brisbane, so just keep rolling.
Well, there you have it, guys. Ben Air, go get a break, Ben.
Thanks, Derek. 18-point lead for the Cairns Taipans. Jason Gadee's got 8 for the Bullets in the opening half. Let's get to know a little bit more about the Brisbane game.
It's one of those things, right? It's all I've ever known. Like, mum and dad involved in the NBL since I was 5 or 6. Some of my best memories are being at previously Seabull games for the Bankstown Bruins and West Sydney Slammers and the Razorbacks running around. I guess like 13 seasons now. Grew up loving the NBL, grew up being involved in it, being a floor wiper. Like, my whole life has been spent in an NBL environment, which is wild to think, for 25 years of it, 26 years of it. But it probably won't hit me till I'm done, I reckon. When I stop playing, it'll be the moment of being like, that was actually pretty cool what I was able to get through, and some of the things I've been able to battle through with the accident and stuff like that. But right now, you're just kind of in the grind of being a professional basketball player, and there's tough parts to it, there's fun parts to it, there's a whole roller coaster of it.
Once Kadee shot clocked at 2, Kadee's going to have to make something happen, and that was worth waiting for.
Clock denied Dent. Kadee, they can just party now, these Brisbane fans.
It's funny, like, Louis only 3, but last season, whenever the game finished, I would look over and he would be starting to run down. It was like he knew the game was over and it was my time to run out and see Dad and go on the court. And it reminds me of almost how great of a childhood I had involved in basketball. Now, to be doing what I do now is, like, it's cool. It's like one of the greatest jobs you can ever do. And so I'm very fortunate, but now when I see my family and especially my kids at games and running around and enjoying their time, it just makes it, it's almost like it's come full circle.
It's been physical stuff in Brisbane in this opening half. Plenty of work for the referees to do. Tajir McCall has been very involved in it all. But it's a dominant start for the Taipans, who lead by 18 at the half, 55-37 over the Brisbane Bullets in what's been a pretty entertaining clash, although it has been the Taipans who have dominated the early stages. Leonard Copen and Pete Hawley alongside me on Thursday Night Hoops. Great to have your company in the Hungry Jacks NBL. Let's take a look at our Hungry Jacks highlights to half-time. And there's been plenty to like if you're a Cairns Taipans fan.
Oh, unbelievable. That second quarter was really the epitome of the way they play. They play really fast and they play physical. I know we look at the foul count, but that's the way Cairns do it. And when you set the tone from the opening tip, or even the whole season, the referees, you're probably more likely to get away with stuff because you don't just flip a switch mid-game and say, you know what, now I want to be physical. They're always physical, they're always up and in, so you do get the benefit of getting away with a couple of things. But in the end, 23 free throws to Cairns for just 5. DJ Hogue's had 9 of them. When he's getting downhill, he's almost impossible to stop right now, and he's going to the free throw line if he doesn't score.
Been a really good offensive start for the Taipans, Leonard. I mean, they've got an edge in the rebounds, the turnovers. Bullets have had 10 in that opening half. There's some worrying numbers there for Brisbane.
Well, anytime Brisbane come down and take bad shots, then Cairns are going to run the floor. They're pushing the ball out. You know, Bull Quarl got going early. He loves this gym, and I think he had the first 6 or 8 points. So when the guy is going like that and feeding him the ball, and you're coming down trying to keep up with him and take bad shots, then it's gonna be easy for you. And again, Cairns were able to get in Brisbane's head. Brisbane are more worried about the referees and the calls than they are playing basketball, playing smart basketball. So that's why we got a 20-point lead here.
Well, I have loved the growth in Bull Quarl's game. I think that's the next step for him. He's going to be an elite defender because that's the way he plays. But just making sure he's a consistent offensive contributor, that's the next step in development in his game. He's got the tools, he's a great athlete, he's super physical with the way he plays. We were a bit worried we might not see him again with that right knee complaint after slipping on the sweat from Gak on the floor. But he's been terrific. As we have a look at the shot chart, normally he's sitting up in the corner, knocking down threes. He's getting what he wants at the hoop. And I'll tell you what, we spoke about how well he shoots the ball from outside in this venue against this team. He's taken 0 in the first half. He's going to get a couple up.
You need to 6 for 7 from the field. Keep doing what you're doing, pal. But you know what the best thing about this guy is? He plays defense. We don't talk about that enough. He's a shooter. When you see him, you think offense, but he will pick you up and play defense the whole time.
Well, he's been pretty exciting in the first half, 6 of 7. He had a little bit of an injury concern as well, Bull Quarl, but he is back out there now. As we head to the halftime break, we are giving away $50,000 with thanks to our friends at Latrobe Financial. Let's see some of the great entries rolling in throughout the course of the season.
All right, I'll have a sleep. I'll catch us all later.
Welcome to NBL Weekenders, a series where your favourite hoopers will jump off the court and onto the tools with help of the team at Bunnings.
Just pulling up at Bunnings. I think I need a new fire pit. Thank you. Probably 4 of these, perfectly around. This is me, we'll get this one in the car. You've made this trip so much easier because I had no idea. All right, 4 chairs done. Fire pit will just go perfectly in the middle here. Everything's matched up and hopefully it all finishes the way it started.
Half-time at Nissan Arena, the Cairns Taipans by 18 over the Brisbane Bullets, 55-37. An encouraging start here for the Snakes. Plenty of work to do for Brisbane. Joel Peterson, Leonard Copeland, Pete Hawley with you on Thursday night hoops. Derek Rucker is courtside for us this evening. They need to get going quickly if they're to eat back into this one, the Bullets.
Yeah, gut check time at halftime. And again, when you're not playing for finals, it's kind of hard to come out with a different mindset and a real aggressive and attacking one, but they just played into the Taipans' hands. Yes, Tajir McCall was instigating a lot. He was doing a lot of extracurricular nonsense, but you fell into the trap. And again, that's also the way he plays. You know he plays with that high energy. You know he's trying to get under your skin. Can't allow it to.
This is when you would have needed one of the veteran players going into the locker room saying, guys, calm down. Let's just go play basketball. That's
not the way to start.
That's the reason.
Strong move from Wardenberg to start. Just continues more of the same as far as the Bullets are concerned. 20 is as big as the lead's been throughout the course of the evening. We're 6 at quarter time. Balloon to 20 in that second quarter. Baines handling the ball at the top of the key. Sobey scoreless in the first half. Draws a whistle on that play.
Oh, they're going to call that a goaltend.
Not the whistle he wanted then.
That's Sobey's first bucket comes on a goaltend.
Fair to say he's a little frustrated.
Have another look at it here. I'm saying Sam Wardenberg just touching the rim ever so slightly.
Interesting call in the end as McCall goes inside. Sobey struggled against the Taipans his last 2. He's 1 of 9 in each of them. That 2 of 18 against the Taipans so far this season. Baines has it pinched by Hogue, who knocks it loose.
He's got phenomenal hands, DJ Hogue. You need to talk about steals, blocks. He's elite in that regard.
Swing, swing, and splash for the Taipans.
Great ball movement on that one.
It's just beautiful basketball. Somewhere Adam Ford's sitting back, and that clip right there will make him a very happy man.
Not yet. He's not happy yet. He's sitting there going...
Just that clip.
Yeah, yeah.
Just that clip. And that one.
Wardenberg with the pick. Scott the other way for the Snakes. Hogue trying to establish himself inside. Goes straight into the chest of Sobey and one.
And that one.
It's the way they play. That ball movement, the steal. Look at that.
Beautiful
it's
ball
just
movement.
Beautiful basketball. Shannon Scott started it, and he's the one who benefited from it. But right here, this is what we talked about Brisbane doing with Aaron Baines. You got the mismatch down low. Hogue just took his time, got to his spot, and one opportunity.
16 for DJ Hogue. He's been 20 points or more 7 times.
And this is probably one of those games where I'm starting Tyler Johnson in the third quarter. Had 15 points and 7 of 10 from the field. But he was -1. He just subbed into the game. He was -1 and a plus-minus. The rest of the starters, Sobey is now -24. Aaron Baines -20. Jason Kadee -22. You just, that way, you don't have a chance to come out flat because you know he's going to be bringing it because he brought in the first half.
Goes straight back to work, but misses there, does Johnson. 15 on 7 of 11 shooting. Now for the ex-NBA veteran. McCall loses the handle on the offensive end. Johnson pushes the pace. Gets it back from Sobey. And now they just go into shutdown mode again. So Johnson has to do all the work himself.
He's a one-man show tonight. He's doing it all by himself, so...
He's not getting much help.
Well, he's got 17 points. He's got 8 points, hit the 2 threes. And then sprinkle through a couple of buckets for everybody else.
It's been far from their best tonight, the Bullets. Seen that from them a bit this season. 5 and 14 on the campaign. 3 of 5 at home this season. You see Johnson go to work.
Just a rare defensive breakdown from Bull Quoll. Wasn't even a real shot fake from Tyler Johnson, but got him out of his stance. Johnson to get downhill.
Wardenberg with the step back long too. Everything's going for the Snakes now.
How pretty was that?
I like his game.
He's really rounded into form, hasn't he, Sam Wardenberg? The rookie out of the University of Miami, the big Kiwi. Took a little while to get going. Of course, he had the concussion last time against Brisbane, but he's really starting to establish himself in this league.
He's also a genius. Sam Wardenberg, absolute genius. And I'm not talking like get him on my trivia night table, although you obviously take him, but he might be the #1 pick in the NBL trivia night. He'd have some competition.
These guys are just putting on a show. Every shot is a good shot.
Lead to 25.
This arena is stunned right now.
It's playground stuff for the Cairns Taipans at the moment, and another takeaway. Scott in the open floor. Upstairs to Wardenberg.
There's got to be a timeout, and it is from Vandy.
Timeout needs to be a vacation.
Oh, boy. Here's the Amy replay. Here's that step back from Wardenberg. Had a pretty good look. Said, no, I want a tougher look on the step back. Paul Cole, nice little pass to Jim McCall. Puts spin cycle. How's the Fisher and Peichel on that?
A little bit of English on the finish too.
And there, out in the break. You turn the ball over, as we said, it's game over.
So Sam Wardenberg pushes the lead to a game-high 27 points for the Snakes. Let's go down to Derek, who's got a special guest.
A very special guest, young Alex Toohey, the 18-year-old sensation. Alex, what brings you to Brisbane?
Yeah, I got some family up here, and Hunter Clark, one of my good friends, is playing for the Bullets, so I thought I'd come out and watch.
And you've recently committed to Gonzaga University in the United States. When are you heading over, and what do you plan to do there? Are you really going to make a strong case for a starting position in your freshman year?
Yeah, so I'll head over kind of middle of next year and then hopefully fight for my spot and kind of help the team keep winning. I think that's kind of the plan.
You were in 2 Boomers qualifiers. How did you find that experience?
I thought it was a great experience playing with some seasoned vets, some pros, and kind of learning from them on and off the court. I think that was really cool.
Now, disclaimer, I had a workout today with Alex. Make sure to go to my Instagram page later, and you will see this guy shoot the lights out. This dude can stroke it right here, Copes. Now, there's 2 words I would like to mention to you, Alex, before you go. Next star.
Hey, thank you.
He didn't quite get it, guys. I'll brief him on it right now. All right, Alex, thank you, buddy.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
I'll tell you what.
Derek's always selling something, isn't he?
Oh, he's on Instagram.
Oh, follow his Instagram. Anybody following your Instagram, Derek?
If you want to follow something, follow that young man's career. He has a very, very bright career ahead of him. Chose to commit to Gonzaga, and they've had a lot of success in recent history.
They keep going, don't they?
An exciting prospect. This man keeps going too. So Tyler Johnson now has 19 of 43 for the Bullets.
And that was a foot on the line. Long 2.
Better defensive effort on this possession from the Bullets.
Right here, Shannon Scott. Personally, I know Tyler Johnson's off 3 from the 3, but he can knock down the 3. He's been shooting in a really efficient clip. If you're going to go under, you've got to realise who you're going under. So you're going under one Tyler Johnson, but also that massive screen from Baines. It's DJ Hogue. Speaking of beautiful strokes.
How pretty is it?
This has got uglier, quicker.
Game high 28-point lead, cut to 26 by Mitchell.
Vandy saying got to get up the floor, try and spark something.
He's absolutely right. You can't score and think you're going to be in the game. You got to get up and create turnovers and havoc.
Call for the walk.
That's going to be a delayed game warning to Jim McCall.
What is Dunkuary? But you can't get away with that.
We're not going to count that?
Oh, I don't think so.
Sports bet.
Hey? Yes.
Oh, well, starting. I'll tell you what, you go in at halftime. Free throw count heavily in the favour of the Taipans, but the majority of those came from DJ Hogue, which are all fouls. So, yes, you're winning that regard, but don't expect to get too many in this half.
Here's Baines inside, underneath to Krebs, who missed it and then just stopped.
Well, That about sums up the night for the Bullets right there.
Wasn't particularly close for Tanner Krebs. Halfway through this third period, and it is all the Taipans. DJ Hogue is just sizing them up. His pass deflected by Sobey.
But there has to be some other kind of defense. You got to get up in the end. You can't come back and sit there and wait on them to come down and score.
Well, that's what Vandy was indicating with the last substitution to Tanner Krebs, saying we've got to get up the floor. We've got to really start to try and dictate things. They've just been on the back foot the entire game. You can't be on the back foot guarding this man. He will make you pay.
He's very much on the front foot, DJ Hogue, with 23 points. His 8th game with 20 or more this season.
He's hit 5 of his last 6 shots as well. And I tell you what, thank goodness for Tyler Johnson right now. Here is DJ Hogue. That is... Did no one teach him not to play with his food?
Just a smooth stroke.
You got a spot for him on your All-NBL teams?
We'll just have to wait and see, won't we?
Should definitely find his way into that NBL second team.
After the night.
Tyler Johnson at the line. Let's go courtside to Derek.
Coach, there's only a month left in the season for some teams. Obviously, Brisbane is amongst those teams. How would you start to address the concerns, and what do you see as the primary focal point in terms of turning this franchise around? You know, we've been in this league a long time, and this is a really unique and tough situation up here.
Well, for me, it started when they fired the coach. I mean, rightly or wrongly.
Which one?
The first coach. Rightly or wrongly, he was 3 for 4. I mean, they'd won 3 out of 4 games, and the one they lost was a game you could get. And you know, we're all geniuses in hindsight, but I just think if you're going to fire someone, you got to have someone to replace him, and they didn't have that at the moment. So it's been turmoil. They got to fix the front office first before they fix the court, I think.
Yeah, there's a lot that needs to go on, and that's a good pass there. Josh Tavey going to go to the line. And to be honest, in the last 2 weeks, last 4 or 5 games, a lot of it, they looked like they had renewed energy. They knew they weren't going to play finals, but they kind of looked like they just banded together and said, you know what, we can give this thing a shake. They beat Perth in overtime, the way they went about it. It just looked like they had a different intent and activity about them. This game is very disappointing. This looks like they've just kind of gone back and fallen into those cracks, into the shells, and bad things are happening.
Lost focus. They've lost focus. They're more worried about the referees and the calls.
Well, and this should have been a game you go into, and credit to the Brisbane fans. This place, again, absolutely rocking, filling the stands, and they deserve burgers. So Josh Davey, be a man of the people. That's just not cricket. But that's what they've got to be able to do. It's just come in, and we spoke about just showing up. And I think Jason Kadee said it best a couple of weeks ago, is we just got to get together as a playing group. Everything that happens off the floor, we can't control. But we've just got to step onto those white lines and play
for ourselves.
As exciting a brand of basketball as we can. I think they did do that for a good period. This is a game that definitely hasn't been the way they should have.
Exciting brand of basketball, and Georgia Gack's involved at least.
And there's talent on this team, which I love. It's just not gelling.
A lot of questions ahead of this Bullets outfit heading toward the end of the season and the off-season as Air gets involved from downtown. Lead is 30. 78-48. Mitchell tries to answer back. It's really turning into a shellacking. An old-fashioned beatdown on the Bullets tonight. Cairns doing as they will as Air gets into the lane and makes it 32.
32. I mean, right now, if you're granted it, you're probably looking down and saying, who wants to play? Who wants to get out there and just give it their all for the last 13 minutes of this game? Gack's going to be one. Tyler Johnson's been another. But this is at 32 points to a team that's missing their MVP. There is no Keanu Pinder on this lineup. By the way, Joel, so as I mentioned, DJ Hogue potentially sneaking into an All-NBL team. What Birdie tells me is we have a look at this offensive foul and just the raise up from the elbow. You can make an easy call when you raise the elbow, though.
Is that easy?
Well, when you raise the elbow, they're going to call it.
Yeah, but
it wasn't a whole lot, but right there, that left arm. But so tomorrow night, the GOAT, Copeland on the call. At halftime, I think they're going to go through their all-NBL teams. And for some reason, I've got this feeling that DJ Hogue might not be in either one of theirs.
He might not, but he might be. You just got to wait and see, don't you?
I think the first team's guards are close to locked in, you would say. I would think Derek Walton Jr., Bryce Cotton, Milton Doyle, going to be hard to dislodge one of them. But if DJ Hogue doesn't find a spot on your second team,
well, there must be somebody better than DJ Hogue if he can't find a spot.
10 players better.
There's a lot of guys in this league
there
that
is,
play
and
basketball.
There's a lot of heavy guards. I'm talking about Barry Brown Jr. better find a spot.
Wow, you trying to intimidate me? You trying to make me pick your team?
Meantime, foul's been upgraded on Davies, so clearly careless contact, and Johnson steps to the line to shoot a couple, having split his last trip at the free throw line. He rattles the second one in. So Johnson's got 22 for the Bullets. They've got 50. Their deficit is 30.
I'll tell you what, though. Cairns is a team you don't want to be playing in the finals if they're playing basketball like this.
Exactly, their ability to flip the switch in games. And that's what we speak about, how important, if you're competing for a top 2 spot, you want to make sure that you don't have to face them in a once-off elimination game where they can get super hot. Because it can be game over. If they flip the switch, there's no coming back from it.
They don't. It doesn't take long at all for this Cairns Taipans team. So Johnson's career high, season best, 24, 22 tonight, 9 of 14 shooting. He has been just about the lone bright spot in this performance for the Bullets. Scott shoots over the top of White, last touched by the Taipans, and it'll be a Brisbane ball as we go courtside to Derek.
And Hools, you make a very good point about the Taipans. They came out here and they've handled their business. Like, they could have taken their foot off, but it's not their job to stop themselves. You can't show any type of empathy out here on this basketball court. You got to put people away, and this is what they're supposed to do. Come out here, put Brisbane underneath some serious pressure, and make them feel this loss. Try and damage them psychologically more than they already are.
That's what the Taipans are going to do, because I tell you what, you talk about youngsters who want to take every single opportunity. Ben Eyre is going to be one of those guys who does that. I haven't seen Jonah Antonio so far. And if they get the opportunity in this fourth quarter, and let's not forget, Kerry Williams, he's got the ropes right now. So, first time stepping up in that head coach role.
Fantastic win, huh?
You want to run that score up as much as you can, because then you want to turn around to 40 and just be like, excuse me, sir.
Career plus minus. Pretty good for Kerry Williams as a stand-in coach. This season, with thanks to MG, we're giving away a brand new MG ZS EV electric car valued at $44,990. Get enter now by heading to nbl.com.au/winmg.
Looking at those two guys on the court, they just look frustrated. I mean, and I guess you would be. Great crowd, people who come out and support you, and you put in a performance like this, it's just not good enough.
Well, again, we're going back a few weeks when everything that was really going down. As past players, that's a great take from Gak and Tyler Johnson setting it up once again. I felt for him because there's so much, nearly everything was out of their hands. But the one thing you can control, as Tyler Johnson said, is effort. And besides him and maybe Gak, that effort just has not been there.
That's right.
For the entire game. So that'd be really disappointing. Because this should be a very winnable game with no Keanu Pinder for the Snakes. They're never going to lay down. They've got some terrific other talent, but you should go into this game feeling pretty confident.
I thought it'd be a danger game, and it's going to be in danger of turning into a real blowout. 27 points is the lead for Cairns at the moment. Of course, it is Dunkuary. I've seen some fantastic dunks already this season and in this month. DJ Mitchell throwing it down against Melbourne United. Sam Froling with a lefty slam. A couple of players who can really get up. Jordan Hunter last night. Tim Suarez as well. Of course, every dunk in January, $500 going to Australian prostate cancer with thanks to our friends at Sportsbet. Xavier Cooks is going to be fairly heavily involved in this month of Dunkuary, I would have thought.
15 dunks so far. Oh.
Xavier Cooks and a lot of those guys. Ray John Tucker, another. Well, maybe that's something we look at. Sportsbet do a terrific job of doing this in the last couple of years. If we're going to go back do it next year, guys under 6 foot, if we get a breakaway board tap, it should be $500. I'm talking if Ben Air gets on the break and
he likes spending other people's money, doesn't he?
And we get a board tap. No, as a fellow past board tapper, I want to respect the guys who maybe don't get up above the rim.
Well, you got to get some work. Yeah, get in there and give it the jump rope and work on those calf muscles, Pete.
Is that what it is?
That's what it is, bro.
Great cause, supported by Sportsbet over the month of Dunkuary. $7,500 so far. 27 points the Cairns lead. Thursday night hoops in the Hungry Jacks NBL. Ben Air getting to work and rattling it in.
He's just putting on a show. 7 for 9.
Had 15 against the Hawks last time out. He's got 15 again here tonight. Johnson continuing on his merry way, playing a lone hand for the Bullets with 24.
10 of 15 from the field. He's just missed his 3 threes and a couple of others. He's been terrific in a very disappointing performance. Well and truly can hold his head high.
He said that they couldn't coach effort and they needed to bring it. He certainly brought it tonight. Gack soars for the rebound. He just hasn't had enough go with him. Gack has. Not too many others could really hold their heads up high out of this performance from Brisbane. Wardenberg got a piece of the Mitchell layup. Jeric is back the other way. Wardenberg runs the break. Outside to Deng.
Yeah, 2 for 1 opportunity. Want a quick bucket. Try and get 2 good looks. I'll tell you what, Copes. If that's what we're going to settle for a 2 for 1, slow it right down, get nothing in set for a contested floater.
That might be the reason they're down by so many points.
Still only 1 bullet in double digits. Jason Kadee has 8. Tyler Johnson has 24. No one between them. 4 Cairns Taipans players in double figures. Beautiful feed from Air inside to Wardenberg, who has it taken off the rim. And the foul called on Gorjak Gack.
And Andy's asking him the question, do I review this? Just a fellow big looking out for his young star. Oh,
they got him on the arm.
I think got him on the hand for sure. I'll look here. Yep.
Right there.
Yep, you'd lose that. I think, and just Ben Air. Oh, I think we're going to get one. I think we are. We're going to get a coach's challenge.
Why?
So these are the ones that...
He fouled him. What do you mean? Come on, man.
This make you wonder what they've seen in those replays that...
well, it's so often replayed on the big screens, but every team now has...
A coach sitting behind with a laptop.
Oh, I remember a couple of years ago, Indiana Faithful used to have it for the Hawks with Gorge, and every time he'd get it wrong, we'd cop a mouthful from the go. Oh, boy.
Coach's challenge is unsuccessful. The call on the floor on blue 1 will stand. We're shooting 2 shots.
Well, that was paying $1.
Look, I said the other night that loss, the unlosable game from Adelaide, was without Fathom. That coach's challenge was without Fathom. I have just no idea. As you said, Copes, straight across the arm, straight across the wrist. There's a lot of ball in it, but it's one of those ones that if it starts with... If there's a bit of hand or some fingers in there, some contact at the rim, it's ones that you see referees, they're more inclined to let it go for big plays. But there you go. Here's the explanation. It was a quick review. That's one where Scott Butler's sitting back saying, okay, well, that one's easy.
Not sure there was...
Scott Butler's like, don't waste my time. Don't waste my time. Are you kidding me? It's an easy call.
Yep. That's... Maybe that sums up Brisbane's night so far.
There's a lot of things that sum up their night.
None of them are all that flash. 27 points the spread. Wardenberg is at the line. He's got 17 tonight as the big man. Season best of 20 against Sydney back in round 6. Getting ever closer to that. Now up to 19, Wardenberg. 29 points is the margin. White, Mitchell, Johnson. Gack and Krebs out there to end this quarter for the Bullets. Johnson's just going to have to go himself like he's been doing all night. Doesn't quite get the friendly roll, but Gack's there to tip it home with the foul.
Oh, I'm not so sure. I think he might have got the friendly roll. I think that's a foul off the play. So they're going to have another look at this. So Tyler Johnson. So they've got a foul on the rebound.
The ball goes in.
And the ball goes in.
That's a three.
Net, so we're going to cancel the basket.
Yeah, he hit the net, so I think he might cancel the basket.
White 21.
What? Goal 21?
Goal 21.
Okay, so we'll have blue ball on the end line then. Okay? All right, just before you do it. Replay center, we want to confirm an offensive goaltend here. On the ball, on the ring, I believe the blue grabs the ball, grabs the net, cancelling the basket. Foul is on gold. We'll have blue on the end line.
We'll hear the explanation right there.
Great access.
Thank you.
So it'll be
Otherwise,
a little
we
bit of
have
time
3 counts. It's a 3-pointer.
for the Bullets.
Okay. And then
See on the screen, Chris
We're
Reed, Ruben
that's what
Wilcock,
we're
Mark
checking.
Mill.
I'm checking the
referees.
Okay? Yes. 3 points count. Okay, I'll do that
Still
first.
the discussions continue.
Okay, first call. 3 counts.
So they were checking, I believe, to see if Gack was pulling on the rim, but with the way the foul happened from Wardenburg, I think that's what's allowed that 3 to count, not being offensive goaltending. If that foul doesn't occur, maybe Gack doesn't touch the net because he gets thrown underneath a little bit. So let's take those 3 points.
So just over a second here for the Bullets. Johnson took a little bit too much time and it spun around and out. 3/4 time, big lead for the Taipans. They're doing it in fine style, up by 26. Been all the Taipans in Brisbane. Dominant performance so far. Ball movement, energy on defence, and a big statement for the third place Snakes, who lead by 26 with a quarter to go. Thursday night hoops in the Hungry Jacks NBL, the second game of round 14 and the 100th game of this NBL23 season. Joel Peterson, Leonard Copen, Pete Hawley with you. Derek Rucker is courtside. Tyler Johnson's played a lone hand for the Bullets so far, Pete.
I mean, has he what? He's got 27 points, super efficient, and he's been the one guy who's really got things going on the offensive end.
Sort of the type of performance, Copes, that we probably expected we might see a little bit more from.
And he can do this. I mean, look, he's one of those guys that we know can get it going. It's been slow starting for him, but if I'm Brisbane from now on, I'm putting him in my starting lineup.
Well, you're starting to get to this point with Brisbane where you look towards next year. I mean, it's probably a while ago now, but Maybe that is the chance to try and develop some. We haven't seen Harrison a lot this year because he's coming back from injury. Try and get as much game fitness into him to try and grow a little bit. And then the youngsters, Cody Statman, another one who's been injured. We haven't seen a whole lot of him.
Got a lot of roster construction to do of the Bullets. McCall on the spit, can't get it to go.
7 rebounds for Gak.
Of course, Sobey contracted for next year. TJ Mitchell's got a team option. Johnson fires away again, can't get it to go. And of course, before they sort out their roster, they've also got to sort out the coach.
Absolutely.
Amid it all, whatever else in terms of internal ructions will go on at the Bullets over the next little while. Scott leaves it short. Last touch by the Bullets.
It's been a bit of buzz. A bit of chatter about potentially who that could be. You know, Vandy's going to be there.
Perro did bring Perro Cameron in, who's a strong influence.
Yeah, well, that'd be great. That's just too easy on the baseline out of bounds. Yeah, that'd be an option. Judd Flavel's name's been around for Brisbane a little bit now. There's Perro Cameron talking to Vandy on the sideline right now.
McCall still chirping away as he has been throughout the night. He's been full of energy.
And you live with this. You live with that foul because that's what he does. He's going to get up and in. They feed off each other's energy on the defensive end. All season long, we keep hyping up and praising their offensive talents throughout the entire roster. We forget how elite they are defensively as a team because of their individual defensive brilliance.
Think about TJ Hogue, who just blocked that shot. 23 points tonight, but he averages a block and a steal as well on the other end of the court.
Oh, well, apparently he's not good enough for an all-NBL team from the block.
Goes upstairs there, but got a piece of Johnson.
Now, come on, Coach. He's got to get in there, Coach. I need to see who the rest... The first 3 I understand. As I mentioned those 3 names, but if TJ Hogue can't land a spot on your second team, you're kidding.
Well, we just got to wait and see, don't we, Pete? We're not going to give it away tonight.
Tomorrow night, all is revealed.
Here we go.
Okay, set my alarm.
You'll be
7:30. Oh, yes, halftime tomorrow. 8:30ish p.m. tomorrow night.
You'll be surprised as well.
Prepared to be angry.
Got a couple of names in there.
Oh, clearly, if TJ Hogue's not on it, tell me he was stiff. He was very close. You thought about him.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Johnson with a couple at the line, takes his tally.
Outrageous. Absolutely outrageous.
He's played very well tonight.
All season long, though. Come on, Coach.
Played very well tonight. 5 for 11. 23 points.
Could there be a late change, Coach?
No, sir.
It's in stone.
The graphics have been made. That's the foul on Josh Davey running through Jason Kadee.
It'll be Sixers and Hawks tomorrow night in Adelaide. That game, and half-time, Leonard Copeland will go through his all-NBL teams.
Oh, look at this. Josh Davey was a little veteran. That is a hip right into the thigh, upper thigh of Kadee.
James might have to spend some time on the exercise bike to loosen that one up after tonight's all said and done. Johnson's got 29 on 11 of 18 shooting. Wants to keep adding to his tally. Gets to the elbow, fires away.
And that's what I'm talking about. Bullquell's effort to slow the play down. So by the time Jason Kadee got rid of the ball to Tyler Johnson, it's DJ Hogue. Oh, I'd love it if that dropped. But by the time he got rid of that rock, there was 16 seconds left to go, and they settled for a contested mid-range. And that's all because Bullquell set the tone.
No basket.
Jack Gack's called for steps. He and Johnson have been really the bright sparks for this Brisbane team. Gack with 5.7 rebounds, couple of steals, good defensive energy. It's a high five from Perro Cameron and his teammates as he comes to the bench, and some instruction from Greg Vanderjagt. They've all had good things to say about Vanderjagt. You talk about that coaching search at Brisbane. Players seem to like the way that he's approached it. Jason Levian, speaking on the Huddle podcast with Liam Santamaria a couple of weeks ago, was very complimentary of the job that the interim coach has done.
Yeah, it's a tough position. He's done a great job. I mean, to throw him in there like that.
Yeah, no doubt. It's really almost an impossible task with what they were faced in terms of adversity.
So timeout on the floor. Quarter of the way through this final term. It's the Taipans 87 to the Bullets 61. So still plenty of work to do for the Bullets. Obviously, they're not going to reclaim tonight, but 5-15 they'll drop to on the season. They do have a little stretch at home coming up, though. We'll talk a little bit more about that later on. Triple header next week in round 15 for Brisbane.
You know what? It's not about the wins and losses right now. I think they need to work on themselves individually as a team. They need to have a team, and I'm sure they've had meeting after meeting after meeting, but someone has to take charge and say, look, we can't go out there and embarrass ourselves like this. We can't go out there and just not play. And with the body language that they have, it just doesn't look good, because these people are coming to watch them play, filling the stands every night. You got to give a better account of yourself. Who's, what do you think?
Spot on.
Broadcast, I'm ready.
It's been a coach's challenge.
Coach's challenge is successful. The call on the floor will be overturned. It'll be Cairns ball.
Oh, they're winning everything tonight, the Taipans. So they had a challenge on this one, saying it was off Tanner Krebs. And again, Scott Butler, another easy one.
And Roland, the referees are on fire today. Well done to the refs.
So it's an interesting predicament in the next few weeks, because this place is packed from this arena, and the fans want to see just finish off the season in such a positive light after everything that's gone on. It's been out of the players' control for most of it, but this game right here is well within the players' control with the way you come out and play. And the heart and soul of the Brisbane Bullets is Nathan Sobey. As Tanner Krebs goes back to lock him. Nathan Sobey, 2 points, 1 of 5 from the field. He's played 20 minutes, minus 30. Aaron Baines, 2 points, 1 of 4 from the field, just 15 minutes. We know it was a game time decision. Potentially was not going to play. 2 points, 5 rebounds. So there's 2 of your main guys. And Tyler Johnson's been terrific. Today he's got 8 points, but you look at the spread. Tyler Johnson, 29 points. No one has more than 8. And then for the Taipans, Hogue 23, Ben Air 15, Wardenberg 20, McCall 11, Bullquall 12. Just having fun out there.
We're almost having more fun. McCall takes it away and then runs away with the ball. A little bit of theatrics from Tashir McCall. It's going to be an unsportsmanlike foul.
I can answer your question. And then you call if you foul him and there's no one in front of you, no other defenders in front of you, it's automatic.
So Tyler Johnson, of course, that rule officiated a little bit differently in this part of the world to what he's used to. 350 games experience in the NBA. Tajee McCall will go to the stripe. 11 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, 5 steals on the night.
Hungry Jacks.
McCall.
They deserve it, these fans, these loyal fans.
Feed them, feed them.
He's 3 of 7 at the night at the line so far. Oh. That's cruel. It's cruel for this Brisbane crowd. 34 free throws for the Taipans tonight. Advantage of 23 free throw attempts over the Bullets.
And that's because they're playing smart basketball.
And they're playing more physical. They're handling it a lot better as well.
Like that. Like that.
It's too easy.
Got
Beautiful
a 5-man
move.
on you. Swing that ball around and take it to the basket.
Lead back to 30 now. Johnson's almost got himself 30. Harrison puts it on the floor. Hogue has active hands, but reached in. Good to see Tyrell Harrison back in the last couple of games for the Bullets. Injury concern earlier in the season for the big man. Kadee, Mitchell, Statman, Johnson, Harrison out there for Brisbane. Hogue, Air, Wardenberg, McCall and Quoll. 5 for Kerry Williams, the filling coach tonight, with Adam Ford missing through illness. Here's Statman for 3. Moon ball goes!
And Coach, we haven't seen a whole lot of him this season, but towards the end of this season, I'm playing him 20 minutes a game.
20? The way these guys look, he might start and play the whole game.
Just give him a chance to really grow, to learn the NBL, to learn being a pro. As many minutes as you can take, because It's a good take from Harrison. Practicing is one thing, but being out on the floor is another.
Cairns product too, I think, is Cody Statman. Spent his college career at the University of Virginia. Wardenberg back the other way.
22 points for Sam Wardenberg on 8 shots.
They're just putting on a show.
Season high for the big man.
Between Hogue and Wardenberg. They're 18 and 22 from the line.
Statman again.
Give the young
30
fella
minutes.
a job. Let him play 30 minutes. Now run another play for him.
100%. If not, just get the rock.
Still time for Cody Statman to really have an influence in this game. Let's go courtside. Derek Rucker.
And guys, it's amazing that this crowd is still hyped. No one has left. And right now, Cody Statman is giving them value for their money. Everybody wants that ball to go back to him.
Oh, almost got it as well, Derek. Almost right on cue.
Tell you what, Rock, there is one pretty good reason besides Cody Statman why everyone's hanging around, and that is burgers. You hear how much they're getting into it. They want to be fed, and so they should.
Absolutely.
Had plenty of opportunities tonight as well. 34 free throws for the Taipans. Hogue airballs a 3. McCall
still going.
Just with the energy.
Still going.
He's buzzing all over the place. Does not stop Tajir McCall. He's still flying around. Oh, Statman behind the back. Goes baseline. Pretty move. Can he finish it off? Tosses it to Johnson in the corner. Bang! 32 for Tyler Johnson.
The young fellas come in and giving them some energy straight away.
I know your question as we looked at the Amy replay is why have you not put him in the second quarter? If you just need to find a bit of energy, just throw a young fella out there. They are desperate for any opportunity. And in a season that's done and dusted, when you're struggling in a game like this, should have been in a long time ago.
Absolutely.
The bench up and liking that one. 32 for Tyler Johnson. Hasn't been enough for the Bullets, who trail by 25. So the next 5 for Brisbane on the season. Home for the Kings, home for United. And they're away for the Phoenix, the 36ers and the Hawks. They have plenty of action at home. 3 of their past 4 at home and in the middle of a homestand at the moment. And for the Snakes, some big games coming up. The Phoenix at home next. And then the Hawks, the Breakers away, a big test. That's a really tough stretch. Breakers, Jumpers, and Phoenix again.
Well, that game against the Phoenix on Sunday is going to be crucial. Hopefully welcome Keanu Pinder back.
Phoenix have got injury concerns of their own. They got Ryan Brockhoff back last night, but no Trey Cal, no Gary Brown. Pretty thin in the backcourt. So that will be a big test. Of course, Brisbane don't have another game this round, and they've got 3, a triple header in round 15. The Taipans with a triple in round 17 to finish off in the penultimate round of the season. We get really into the thick of things in this NBL23 campaign.
Got a Harry Frawning sighting out there.
He's lost his spot a little bit in the rotation with the emergence of Gack and Baines and Harrison back in the lineup. And Sam Wardenberg is having himself a night. 24 points, super efficient, 7 rebounds. Trying to get a 30-piece nugget as well.
As part of the awards conversation, Pete, is Wardenberg.
Oh, he is. I mean, right now, as it stands, Rookie of the Year, you can... I think he's had his name engraved on that a long time ago. But
so what's this as it stands business for Rookie of the Year?
I'm the only one would have been petitioning for a bit of a change in the criteria to the Rookie of the Year, just because there's a lot of youngsters who are ineligible, aka a lot of development players. Sean McDonald's been terrific. So I've been going hard for some sort of rising star type. And it's not just me.
Like a Youth Player of the Year award
exactly
in the
right.
WNBA.
Exactly right. A Youth Player of the Year or a rising star type. I'm not sure.
Which I think Ezzy Magbagor has won 3 years in a row in relevant competition.
It's an interesting one. I'm not sure if it's been finalised or when it's.
So we're going to call it the Peter Hooley Award? Or?
No. I mean, if we are, we can go back and just call it the Game 1 of the Grand Final Series. That's all I need. That's the only one we have to call it.
Hooley Potential Award.
But it's more of rewarding all the youngsters in the league. And again, right now we rule out so many of those. But again, you've got to have to draw the line of we look at potentially I know Josh Giddey was the next star, but obviously he'd be leading the charge if he was eligible. So it's going to be interesting to see exactly what happens and when it happens.
Oh, Cody Statman going to work. Just couldn't get the finish.
I like the young fella. I like the way he plays.
Keep an eye out for that. The Awards Watch, of course, up on the NBL website this week. The latest version of that. You look NBL website as well on the app. 27 points the lead here for Brisbane. Cody Statman this year, 4 of 4 at the line.
Oh no.
Make it 5 of 5.
Come on, Joel.
I was thinking when I wrote that down today, Pete, I thought, oh, I shouldn't say that.
Well, I would have just, as you're about to read it, just hold off for this last one. But when you're an elite shooter, it doesn't matter. Not
with the night Cody Statman's having. He's perfect from the field and from the stripe. He's 2 of 2 from both. And it's a 25-point game. Cairns looking to crack the ton for the 4th time this season. Ben Ayre will get them there.
Raise the bat. What a performance from the Taipans. This has been really nice to watch. Listen, Kerry Williams still barking instructions on the sideline. He's not satisfied yet. Oh, hello.
Little lob inside to Statman.
Well, point for point. Statman, 10 points in 4.5 minutes.
Come in. He's the second leading scorer in...
The only other one in double digits. That is quite extraordinary. Johnson with 32, Statman with 10. Statman's played 4.5 minutes as Deng on the other end gets it to go and one.
I mean, that's been the story of the night. Basically, when Cairns have said wherever they want to score, they're going to score. Black man into the game as well. Antonio. Ben Ayre, he's 17 points. He's got 4 assists.
8 of 11 shooting. He's been super efficient. With Hungry Jack's NBL, you can whopper your way to LA. Grab any large burger meal at Hungry Jack's and enter your receipt code to win 4 tickets, flights, spending money, and accommodation to a basketball game in the USA. Enter now at hungryjacks.com.au/whopper LA. League 24 of the Snakes here. Here's Statman again. That time no good. Untouched as it goes out of court. Let's go downstairs to Derek.
Guys, unfortunately, the reality for the Bullets this season from the defensive perspective is you can just put 90 on the board for the opposition, and if they're playing well, it will creep up to 100. And in this case, when the Taipans are really rolling, it's going to start to touch that 110, 115 mark, and that's never, ever going to get you the amount of victories you need to compete in this league.
Oh, recent history has shown us. Cody Statman said, you know what, I'm just going to take every shot, and fair enough. Recent history has shown us that the magic number is 80. So if you give her up anywhere around 80 a game, you're going to be contending more often than not. Mayan tees one up, try and join the party. That's no good. 3 of the 4 finalists the last 3 years have averaged anywhere opponents' points 79 to 81.
Brisbane this season, 91 against. As Harry Froling gets his name on the score sheet after a late entry into this tonight. Taipans defense has been smothering throughout. 3rd best defense in the league. Really been their calling card, that disruption and activity on that end. You can see on the screen the biggest win for the Taipans this year, 25 points. Ayre stretches the margin to 28, and it's the highest score for the Snakes this season at 107.
Wow.
As bad a performance as this has been from Brisbane, it's been every bit as good at the other end for the Snakes. Deng with the takeaway. Jeric for 3. Trying to pile on the pain in the final closing stages.
Well, what's the message in the locker room, Pete, for the Brisbane Bullets?
I'm not sure, to be honest, because a lot of coaches these days don't talk after games. It's more of a, they say that the emotions are running hot, so let's just try and leave it for some review. But
nah, there needs to be some emotion running hot after this one.
But there wasn't emotion in the whole game.
That's what I mean. That's why there needs to be something.
What's the point in doing it after the game? We just didn't see, with all the nitty-gritty and all the little extracurricular that...
Oh, upstairs and throwing it down. Matthew Johns on the oop.
The guys coming off the bench have more.
Correct. That cannot happen.
Not even coming off the bench. 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th are playing better than the starting 5.
White with the takeaway. Couple of seconds left for the Bullets here. It's going to be a big win for the Taipans. A big statement. They go to 3-0 against the Bullets this season. They cement 3rd spot to the Snakes. 26 points the margin of victory. They controlled it all the way. 107-81. Contributors throughout. 5 scorers in double digits for Cairns. Only 2 for Brisbane. Tyler Johnson with a game-high 32 points. But Sam Wardenberg, outstanding. The Foot Locker player of the game. 24 points for the big man. 8 rebounds. A steal in there as well. 7 of 10 shooting for Sam Wardenberg. A big win for the Snakes. They take it by 26. Back to wrap up from Nissan Arena shortly. Big win for the Snakes on Thursday night hoops. 107-81 over the Brisbane Bullets. And Sam Wardenberg, a big performance, the Foot Locker player of the game. A season high, career high in the NBL. 24 points for the big man, 7 of 10 from the field, 9 of 12 from the line, 8 rebounds to go with it all. A very impressive performance from him and from the Cairns Taipans tonight, Pools and Coates.
Yeah, he was brilliant and he really had a lot of help. Everybody just enjoyed themselves tonight, but when you're that efficient from the field, got to the free throw line 12 times, and this is a game that we had a bit of worry about him. He was going up against Baines, he was going up against Gack. We were worried he was going to be undersized, and he said, you know what, I'm going to have a career night, screw it.
He was outstanding tonight, Sam Wardenberg, the big man, very much in the Rookie of the Year conversation he is. Let's take a look at the remainder of round 14 here in the Hungry Jacks NBL. Copes, you're going to be back tomorrow night, Adelaide and Illawarra.
I'm back tomorrow night. Let's hope these guys come out with a better game than they played tonight.
Well, I'll tell you what, that Jack Jumpers United game means a whole lot for both teams. You're heading down to the Apple Isle.
I'll be down there. Hobart on Saturday to see the Jack Jumpers.
Salamanca Market, look out for Copes.
Going to be a big Sunday morning down there at the Salamanca Market. Thanks to Copes, thanks to Halls, thanks to Derek as well tonight. A big win for the Cairns Taipans. They cement third spot on the table. And really, they did it with a fair bit of ease. A dynamic defensive performance. It was physical, it was fast, it was frenetic. And it was all the Snakes on Brisbane's floor. 107-81. Round 14 rolls on tomorrow night. Look forward to your company then here in the Hungry Jacks NBL.
This program is brought to you by Hungry Jacks and Bunnings Warehouse.